Welcome to the Rescheck blog, brought to you by www.rescheck.info. Today on the Rescheck blog, we want to discuss with you Rescheck web settings and a tutorial. If you want to read along while we go through this blog post, you can go to rescheck.info, go down to the Rescheck blog, and open the Update Rescheck Settings tutorial. Once there, you will see a screen that looks like this. This is the inside of Rescheck Web. Update Rescheck Settings tutorial. Many times on the Rescheck blog, we discuss ways to calculate input and figure out errors within the Pacific Northwest Laboratory and Department of Energy's Rescheck softwares. In Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop, there are many different inputs to take into consideration on each Rescheck report that you create. Today, we want to help DIY Rescheck creators and at-home Rescheck calculators answer questions of how to update their settings within Rescheck Web. Then give a brief description of each of the settings options. Starting with the login, you want to log in to Rescheck Web to bring up your account. Once you're fully logged into Rescheck Web, then you want to look for a tiny gear at the top upper rightmost corner of your Rescheck Web screen. Click on the gear icon. Once in the settings page, your Rescheck Web screen should look like this. This is where Rescheck settings are updated and maintained within your Rescheck software. Basically, the page makes a default setup for each Rescheck that you create within Rescheck Web. So if you find yourself typing in the same information multiple times, it might be a good idea to update these settings in Rescheck Web Settings page. Starting in the upper left-hand corner of Rescheck Web Settings page, let me describe each item and what it will change. Your first setting to update will be checking the box that says, use the following settings for new projects and reports. This makes the data on this page the default information that will be shown on new projects. Next, you have energy code and location. We do a majority of our projects using ICC 2021 in Bismarck, North Dakota. So, that is the location we will use as a default for our Rescheck Web software. You're always able to change this information on each new project you create, so don't worry if every Rescheck you create is not in this location. You just want to pick the most common location for you in your Rescheck area. Next, you want to click Enable Orientation by default. This will allow you to do the north, south, east, and west walls and have them show up on both the main level and foundation level walls that need Rescheck calculations. This toggle box shows up on the Rescheck Web software directly to the right of the settings we just updated for energy code and location. The next items you will look at are classified as Rescheck project information. This includes items like owner, agent, and designer contractor. If you specifically work with one person building multiple homes, or if your contractor and architect never change, then this is the spot to input their information so that you do not have to type the information in each time you create a Rescheck. Also, if you end up doing Rescheck projects with a different owner, agent, or designer contractor, you can simply modify this information individually on the project screen. This concluded our easy-to-use tutorial on how to update your Rescheck settings within Rescheck Web. If you require assistance with a Rescheck, we can help. It takes us about 4 to 6 hours to create a Rescheck for you, and the cost is $79. To get a Rescheck design for you, just email us PDF plans, job site address, and square footage to service@rescheck.info, and we will get you taken care of. If you're ready to order, go up to the top of the screen, upper right, click the Buy Now button. After you wait for that to load, you're going to add the Rescheck report to your cart. Should be the very top item. Click on that and you are ready to go. Thanks again for listening to the Rescheck blog. Happy Reschecking.